UFC Fight Night Saudi Arabia. We have Israel Adesanya making his long-awaited return to the cage, and he's going to be taking on Imavov in a absolute banger main event. This card is fucking stacked. I'm going to be breaking down every single fight on this card. Focusing mainly on the main card, but the whole card will be broken down. And we're going to start off straight away with a nice little heavyweight scrap to open the card. Hamdi Abdelwahab versus Jamal Pogues. This is like a good slug it out kind of thing. Thing is, Jamal Pogues actually has a lot of decisions on his record. Like, he lost to Mick Parkins, which kind of happens. Mick Parkins is a bit of a beast, but yeah, like he had a lot of finishes in it, like before he kind of got to like the good level. Like, he was on the Contender Series, then he went to LFA, things like that. I think he just has kind of a bit of a boring style, but he's back in the UFC now. He was on the Contender Series twice. You know, losing to Mick Parkins is what it is. Beating Thomas Peterson, I think that's actually quite a good win. But this is an interesting one. The bookies have this down to the wire. Hamdi is yet to fight in the UFC. Like, he's got fucking, this is his debut. He fought on the Pena versus Nunes card, the second fight, I believe. But that was a no contest. So, like, technically this is UFC. Well, I suppose it's not, but like, he hasn't got a fight in the UFC that's actually valid. So I'm gonna go with Jamal on this one. I think experience is gonna play a big factor in this one. I think you can just sit on him, to be honest with you, and kind of get a decision that way. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Jamal via decision. Next up, we have Bogdan Grad versus Lucas Alexander. Lucas Alexander is coming off a first round finish back in November, which is it's not what you really want to see against Jeka Sadri, and he beat someone like, you know, Steven Peterson, which is actually quite a decent win, so that's good on his record. Bogdan, though, he's got a nice win over Michael Aswell in a split decision on the Contender Series. I thought he won that fight pretty well, but you know, I'm not a fucking judge. This is quite a tough one to call. Like, he got finished on the Contender Series in the first round as well, and now he's making his UFC debut. You know, I'll go with Bogdan on this one. It's quite a hard fight to call. I kind of like Bogdan on the Contender Series when I watched him that one time. It was a split, but dude's got a lot of finishes on his record. You know what I mean? He's got a lot of finishes, and he's gonna go in there and try to take his fucking head off. But it is a close one. It is a close one. Bookies have this right down to the wire as well. Lucas Alexander has a good few finishes, but I feel like he's either get finished or be finished, which isn't a bad thing. Like, he was on the Anthony Pettis fucking fighting championship for a while, so you know, he must have some skill level. But yeah, next up, actually, I'll go with Bogdan. I'll go with Bogdan via first round TKO. You know, these guys are going to go in there and give it all. Next up, Jasmine Defudovic, versus Mayo Bueno Silva. This is actually a good Mayo Bueno Silva. Sorry, it's actually a good women's fight, and I like this fight for the women's flyweight division. I am going to go with Jasmine on this one. Looking at Silva's kind of track record, she's coming off 2 losses to Pennington, which isn't exactly, you know, nothing bad about that. That was on the Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis card last year. And Macy Chisan, she's got some decent wins, you know, Stephanie Edgar, wins like that. Gillian Robertson is actually quite a good win, finished her in the first round. Jasmine, though, I feel like probably a little bit too kind of on a hot spree right now. She's on a 3-fight win streak. She actually fought on that Dricus and Strickland card, picking up a finish. So I'll go with her on this one. She has kind of had a few kind of stretch marks with the Tracy Cortez fight and Natia Silva, where she had to kind of iron some things out, and she's got some good names on her record, and I do like her in this fight. Kind of see both of these contenders kind of going up the rankings with a win on this one. Could even get like a title eliminator, or kind of be in the framework of a title eliminator. So yeah, this should be a good one, and I'll go with Jasmine via decision on this one. Next up, we have Faraz Ziam versus Mike Davis. This is actually a fucking banger fight. I am kind of leaning towards Faraz a little bit. He's on a really good streak here, you know. Mike Figlak, he's not even in the UFC anymore, but I've watched Mike Figlak for a few years now in Cage Warriors and stuff like that. But Joy Herbert, Claudio Paredes, Matt Frivola, that was one of the fucking most brutal KOs I've ever seen. Even Luigi Venturini, I know he's kind of known for losing to Paddy Pimblett, but Jamie Malarkey, these are probably like the upper echelons of this guy called Artman Tansum. I thought it was Armin Sarukian there, but these kind of the upper echelons of the unranked fighters in the division at lightweight, to be honest with you. And he's got some good skills, man. I do like him in this fight, you know what I mean? He's doing very well against Mafavola. Like, he is a bit of a decision merchant. He lost to Terence McKinney in the first round. Lost to Don Magna as well. But, you know, Mike Davis is on a nice little tear too. Nathan Levy, he's even beat Mason Jones. Thomas Guilford, you know what I mean? Lost to Gilbert Burns back in the day, but that was fucking age ago. But he has a load of cancelled fights. Do you know what I mean? Jai Herbert, Drew Dober, Medic, Giga Chikadze twice. Do you know what I mean? Like, these are fucking a lot of cancelled fights, but I'm gonna go Faraz on this one, to be honest with you. I think he'll get this one done, probably via decision. Close fight though, so see how that one goes. But yeah, next up, Terence McKinney, speak of the devil, versus Damir Hadzovic. This is such a random fight. Like, it actually is bizarre. Like, Terence McKinney, yeah, I like Terence McKinney. He needs to stop fucking tweeting about everything. You know what I mean? Every time I watch a UFC, he's tweeting about it. But I think Terence McKinney will definitely get this one done. He's actually never gone the distance in his life, which is pretty fucking insane. Like, if he's gonna win, yeah, like, he's gonna absolutely chin someone. But if he loses, he's just gonna be an absolute meme for the week. That's just how Terence McKinney is, yeah. I fucking love it though. I absolutely love it. Yeah, he was on a good streak there for ages. Like, he chinned Matt Favola in the first round. Quickest knockout in UFC history. Then he had like beef with KSI and shit like that. Like, it's just fucking funny. This dude he's a mad fucker. Like, and lost to Drew Dober, things like that. But I think he'll get this one done, to be honest with you. Like, Demir literally just came out of fucking nowhere. Literally came out. He's the fucking guy as well. Moicano was like, I wanted to keep fighting long. He was like, well, then you shouldn't have submitted me. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but he's got one win since then. That was March. That's nearly 5 years ago now, which is fucking insane. So, like, don't really back him in this fight, to be honest with you. He's coming off a decision loss to Mark Ducatsi, who's in the PFL now. Yeah, I mean, Terence McKinney will get this one done. Terence McKinney will get this one done via probably first round KO, or get absolutely fucking chinned into oblivion and take a year off, or come back a few weeks later and then fight and get chinned again. Like, that's just kind of Terence McKinney for you. It's good in an prelim, to be fair. Like, you know, it's going to be exciting. He's literally never gone to the judges, so you can put your money on him not going to the judges. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'll go Terence McKinney in that one. He's a good favourite in that fight, so yeah. Next up, we have the heavyweights, Tom Peterson versus Shamil Gaziev. Another kind of just fat heavyweights that are probably going to go in there and swing, and someone's going to get out there in the first round. Thomas Peterson, you know, he has like 7 first round finishes, which is pretty good. Like, he beat Muhammad Usman in a... Sorry, not 7 first round finishes, just 7 TKOs. He beat Muhammad Usman in his last fight, Richard Forrester, Chandler Cole, the Contender Series, LFA as well. He doesn't have like an incredible amount of experience, but, you know, he lost to Jamal Pogus as well, who's actually on this card as well, I believe. And then you have Shamil, and I was looking through his record, and he only lost is to Rosenstrike, but apparently it was retirement. That's what it says. I've read when I was doing my kind of research into these fighters, like, retirement in the 4th round, which is pretty fucking funny. He must just quit or something. But yeah, he's got some good wins, like Martin Buday, Dotel Mays decision. You know what I mean? I think he'll get this one done. It's just another heavyweight scrap, to be honest with you. I think he'll get this one done via TKO. He's only lost to Rosenstrike, so it's not like he's losing to fucking bums either. But yeah, next up, Mohamed Nayev, and he's taking on Khan Offley. I want to get this straight out of the way. Mohamed Nayev, I hope he gets absolutely starched. Absolutely fucking starched in the very first round, first exchange. I'm a Nathaniel Wood fan, and I watched that Nathaniel Wood fight live. The biggest disgrace I have ever seen. Cheating little fucking shit, this guy. was grabbing the glove, any little advantage he can get, fucking worm. I hope he gets absolutely, he won't, he'll win this fight, but still, I hope he gets absolutely fucking starched. Okay, I want to get that out of the way straight away. Cannon Flop's not going to win, okay? This dude was on tough, did well, you know what I mean? Picked up a nice first round finish on there, won a decision against Nathan Fletcher, which is a fucking great win. Okay, Nathan Fletcher is really, really good. I've been watching Nathan Fletcher for fucking years on Cage Warriors, you know what I mean? He's fighting Kayla Lochran now as well. That's a fucking banger fight. But I hope he absolutely starches him. Absolutely starches him. This little worm for the way he fucking cheated Nathaniel Wood. Okay, I don't like it one bit. And yeah, that's all I got to say about this matchup, to be honest. I hope he gets absolutely starched. Just because I'm a Nathaniel Wood fan. Next up, Said Nurmagomedov versus Vinicius Oliveira. This is such a fucking good fight. I actually really like this fight. You look at the Said Nurmagomedov, obviously you look at the second name, and you think, oh fuck, this dude's gonna be like unbelievable. But he's really not that good. He hasn't fought in a while now. He hasn't fought since Makhachev Oliveira 2, which is over a year ago. He picked up a nice first round finish there, but you know what I mean? He got kind of a good few fights cancelled. You know, Montel Jackson, Daniel Santos, Daniel Marcos. Even got a fight against Kyler Phillips cancelled. He lost to Jonathan Martinez, which, no shame in that because Jonathan Martinez is actually very good. But Jonathan Martinez lost to Aldo recently and stuff like that. You know what? I'm actually going to go with the underdog on this one. I'm going to go with Vinicius Oliveira. He was coming off a nice decision win over Ricky Simon. He's been active since that fight. I think he's made his UFC debut. Picked up a nice first round finish against Victor I think it was Madrigal, I think the guy's name was, in the first round of the Contender Series. He was on the UAE scene for a while. You know, he lost on that, but, you know, definitely bounced back from that. You know, he picked up a nice win against Ricky Simon, which is fucking class. You know, Ricky Simon's a bit of a, like, he's not exactly top 5, never has, never will, but he's still a good win. He's got a bit of name value behind him, and yeah, I don't know, I like Vinicius Oliveira on this one. You know what I mean? The dude has got, I think, 16, maybe 17 first TKOs, so he's definitely good with the hands, and that's what I like about him in this fight. But, you know, Said Nurmagomedov is actually quite slick on the feet as well. You know, he's not a total decision merchant, even though he has probably more decisions on his record than finishes. You know, probably. I still like Oliveira on this one. I'm gonna go Oliveira on this one. I'm gonna go with a nice little decision. Don't think he'll finish Said Nurmagomedov, but he'll definitely have a nice little fucking go at it. And that's actually a fucking banger fight. That's a good way to start these kind of main fights. Speaking of main fights, Sergey Pavlovich versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Man, Pavlovich really fell off the face of the planet. Because I remember, let's say we take it back to when he was fighting. He was the backup for Aspinall. No, sorry, not Aspinall. Fucking Jones and Gan. Jones versus Stipe. He was like this absolute destroyer. Because I remember he beats Curtis Blades in the first round. Everyone was like, this dude's an absolute fucking beast. But then he ran into Big Tom, and it didn't go too well for him at all. And Volkov just went in there and shut him down, and I really feel like he's kind of just lost all his fucking hype about him, to be honest with you. I kind of feel like all that aura he once had is just kind of gone, and, you know, we've seen Volkov lose to Cyril Gane now. Obviously, most of us, including me, thought he won that fight. You know, quite convincingly as well, but the judges didn't see it that way. And, you know, Pavlovich is so heavy-handed. You know, 15 KOs in his whole career, but he's on a nice skid. You know, he beat people like Curtis Blades, Taito Ivasa, Derek Lewis. They're not really like, obviously Derek Lewis has heavy hands. Taito Ivasa fell off the face of the planet, and Curtis Blades is a great win. Okay, but like, Curtis Blades is the only real, like, high experience win, top 5 win that he has. And let's keep in mind here, he lost to Tom on short notice. I know it was kind of short notice for him, but he was the backup for the main event, so it's not like he was completely sitting on the couch, had no idea of a date or anything. Like, he had a bit of an idea. He was going to weigh in as a backup. He was coming in ready. Obviously, he wasn't ready for Tom, but then you just get schooled by Volkov. And he did get schooled by Volkov, and actually picked Volkov in that fight. That was a great pick from me, I won't lie. Like many of my picks, but Rozenstruik, just a bit of a fat man, isn't he? Like, he's got heavy hands as well. Now, don't get me twisted. Like, he's got 13 KOs in his career, which is fucking insane, you know? But you split decision against Tai Tuivasa. You know what I mean? You beat Shamal Gazav, who's on this card as well. You lose to Jaital Almeida. You lose to Volkov. You lose to Blades. You lose to Gan. You lose to Ngannou. You know, he has got some fucking great wins, though. Andrei Arlovsky, Alistair Overeem, they're both finishes. Junior Dos Santos, he finished. Obviously, I mentioned Tai Tuivasa. Even beat Chris Daukaus, which, you know, is not exactly a massive win, but still a decent win. And this is definitely a good fight for both of these guys. But I do favour Pavlovich in this fight. I think he'll knock him out, to be honest with you. I think he's going to be a little bit too slick with it. And this isn't a Volkov that's going to have a size advantage and pick at range. The Rosenstrike is going to be a nice little style for him to go in there and just land on him. You know what I mean? He's going to be short. He's got poor enough defense, Rosenstrike. I don't raise defense, to be honest with you, and I just think Pavlovich is going to be able to find those shots quite comfortably. He's a bit of a stationary target, Rosenstrike. He could definitely land on Pavlovich himself, but I think Pavlovich is going to be a little bit too slick in areas. Like the boxing defense, I definitely think Pavlovich has him. Rosenstrike definitely has him in the kicking game. I think if he can chop away at that leg and keep at range, but I don't think he's got like a reach enough to keep at range, and I just don't trust him in his chin either, you know what I mean? Like, and yeah, that's about it really. I think Pavlovich has better range, better techniques, better boxing, more power. You know, he got chinned by Aspinall, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's a bad chin. You know what I'm saying? Like, Volkov didn't finish him, but I feel like if you're going to beat Pavlovich, you need that KO power and size over him, or you have that range and size like Volkov had. And, you know, Rosenstrike has neither of them. He's quite a small heavyweight for height wise. It's not like 6'2", between 6'2" and 6'4", which isn't small, but for heavyweight that's quite small. And I think if you're going to beat Pavlovich, you need to bring something he doesn't have to the table, like explosive power like Aspinall, or rangy kind of crafty guy like Volkov, who can mix in a little bit of everything. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of like this is a good one, because you could even see if Pavlovich goes in there and starches Rosenstrike, you could see him versus Cyril Gane next. You know, even though I think Cyril Gane needs to fight Jaital Almeida, that's kind of a fight where I'm like, I wouldn't necessarily say I want to see Gane punished because he beat Volkov, but if it's this thing of I'm sitting out, I beat, who was it? Spivak in France, okay, who's pretty shit, and then you beat Volkov in a in a robbery decision. How are you sitting there saying you deserve a title shot? And it's such a Cyril Gane thing to do, which pisses me off about him. But this could have, you know, I feel like the winner of this will fight Almeida or Cyril Gane. If it's Pavlovich, Rosenstrike, you can kind of give him whoever. Like, I don't think there's a great fan interest in seeing Rosenstrike fight. You could see him versus Almeida, but like, he's already lost to Almeida. Do you know what I mean? That wasn't even that long ago. May 2023, I think that was, or I can't fucking remember, but got finished in the first round as well, so no one really wants to see that. But Rosenstrike Volkov again, maybe, you know what I mean? That was a while ago. If you do that during the summer, it'll be 3 years, something like that. I don't really fucking know what you do with Rosenstrike, so hopefully Pavlovich gets this done. I think he will. I'm gonna go with Sergey Pavlovich via first round KO. I like that one. Next up, Sharap Magomedov versus MVP Michael Venom Page. What a weird fucking fight. What an absolute weird fight. I'm quite confused why they're fighting, because MVP has literally said this is going to be a one-off. I'm going straight back down to welterweight after this fight, which kind of makes me think, like, why are you doing this fight? What kind of title implications is this going to have at middleweight? Okay, Sharap Magomedov, I've been saying it since his UFC debut, is an absolute, he's not fraud, but he is so beatable. Okay, he's got slick striking for sure. But like someone like Vittori, I've said this on this channel, someone like Vittori, who's just going to eat shots for breakfast, bro, would beat Magomedov. Okay, as soon as he's down, he's a fish out of water. Okay, he hasn't a fucking clue. No, trust me, you fucking get a kick off that fella, he'd kill you stone dead. But he's an absolute fanny when he gets down. He hasn't a clue what he's doing. So I don't really like Sharap Magomedov's chances of becoming a champion or getting into a top 5. If you give him right matchups, he might. Someone that's not going to shoot a takedown. You know, you give him like a Strickland, someone like that. then he might. But yeah, having said that, as good as of a striker he is, I actually like MVP in this fight. I think MVP can get this one done. It's actually a very close fight, though. I wouldn't be betting on MVP, but I just think there's very few people that can stand there with MVP, regardless of weight class. Like, he's so slick on the feet. He's got great knees. I've been watching him for a while in Bellator and stuff like that, and he's so slick with it. You know what I mean? He's so slick with it. He's had like a little bit of a rough one with Ian Gary in his last fight, but you know, you could argue he beat Ian Gary. Do you know what I mean? And he was saucing him, absolutely saucing all over him. Pause in the striking in the second round. Okay, Ian Gary had fucking nothing for him. If MVP just became like an absolute solid grappler that is extremely hard to take down, bro, he would be a fucking menace. But he's always had that grappling issue. Like that's clearly been like the problem with Michael Venom Page. You know, you give him someone like Kevin Holland. I actually picked Holland to beat him. You know what I mean? That was like Holland. Man, Holland's such a fucking... I saw him on the Jackson podcast going at Rampage. I'm just like, man, what the fuck are you doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, I really like Holland, but like, you do shit like that, and you just chat a load of shit in your fight and you don't fucking back it up. You know what I mean? You chat so much shit to Rampage and you just go out there and get smoked in the first round. I'm just like, man, what the fuck are you doing? You have all the talent and attributes to become a champion in this sport, but you just fuck it all away. I don't know. I feel like he's chasing money and not chasing the belt, and which is fair enough. Like, do you know what I mean? But anyway, enough about fucking Holland. Get back to this fight. I like MVP's ability to keep at range. Sharon Magomedov can definitely get in with the kicks and stuff like that. He's gonna have a size advantage as well. You know, MVP is not the biggest welterweight. I don't necessarily see him becoming jacked and then going up to middleweight and then going back down to welterweight. Like, he's just gonna come in there with like 15 extra pounds of size. Like, I do expect him to be bigger, quite similar to like maybe Aljo moving up. Aljo's a big featherweight. Do you know what I mean? Like, his fucking legs and shit are huge. Something like that, or even Holloway when he moved up against Poirier might look like that a little bit. But yeah, I like MVP on this one. But you know, Sharon Magomedov, it's so close. He can easily, especially since this is, you know, in Riyadh. Sorry, not Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. 100%. If that's a judge's scorecard, which I think it will go to the judge's scorecard, I don't see. I feel like if there's going to be a finish, I'd actually favour MVP. To be honest with you, might catch him with like a flying knee or something like that. Such an elusive style and karate heavy, and it's just fucking class to watch. Like, I do fuck with MVP's style a lot, and I think he's going to be able to keep out range and pick his moments. I just don't see many people being able to figure out MVP's kind of unique style on the feet. He's so slick, and he was even like the Douglas Lima fights in Bellator. He was saucing Douglas Lima on the feet, man. Saucing, especially in that first fight. Like, he was absolutely bitching him. Then he just got caught. And I remember watching the second fight live, and I was like, oh my god, that is an absolute robbery. Like, I don't know how MVP won that fight, but yeah, I feel like I haven't seen anyone being able to like match MVP on the feet. Like, I haven't. And as much as Sharon Magomedov can do that, I think he's definitely going to be the most dangerous striker MVP's ever fought. I really don't see Shara just going in there and just completely beating him pillar to post on the feet. I don't think there's a man alive that can do that to MVP on the feet. Okay, especially in welterweight. Him versus Leon would be a fucking scrap. Do you know what I mean? And that was like something I was kind of hoping could happen, simply because the stylistic matchup is so good. Leon would beat him because he'd be able to mix in the grappling, but as regards a stand-up match, give me that over Wonderboy all day, because Wonderboy just got knocked out by Buckley. Okay, and I ain't trying to see that. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. You know, MVP is extremely good at keeping range, which is something I noticed in his fights. Like, he's a master of keeping his opponents at range to where he's able to work in. He does almost like a jumping movement. Well, obviously he does like a jumping movement, but I feel like MVP does such a good thing of, he almost like jumps in, he might hit you with like a oblique kick and then kind of backs out, but he does it like a certain way with his feet. His movement is really good. And I feel like Sharon Magomedov, as good of a striker as he is, will have a hard time of figuring out that range. Whereas MVP is a master at getting on the inside and getting back out so quickly. Do you know what I mean? Like, go back and watch the second round of the Ian Gary fight. He was schooling that kid. And now everyone loves Ian Gary because he took Shavkat's back and lost the fight, which is crazy. He was all chatting shit about him there a few months ago. I've been saying on this channel for years I want Ian Gary to win. Now you're all fucking saying it now. Anyway. And you know, Shara is 4-0 in the UFC, but he's fought fucking no one. Okay, like Bruno Silva, yeah, cool, whatever, bro, but still, like, come on. He's just, like, he's not really fought anyone. Like, in his debut against Bruno Silva, man, Bruno Silva was getting him down and doing a bit of damage, okay? Let's stop with this fucking bullshit, okay? This dude is not that good. I've been saying it on this channel for a time. Yes, he is a slick striker. Yes, he has good skills. He's going to get exposed bad when someone who can grapple comes into play. I'm telling you, Marvin Vettori, yeah, that fucking beefhead, he just got booked. He would slap this guy up, man. Absolutely slap him. Like, you can't finish that guy. He will literally eat everything you have like it is nothing. It is ridiculous. Okay, he's going to be... I can't fucking remember. Delizzi or some Rome Delizzi, I think. He's going to... I saw someone say, Vettori by flips shorts. Like, that dude is an absolute meme. I love Vettori simply because, like, you get him in a hype going, he'll just start random beef with his opponent, even though there's absolutely no need to start the beef, and then it'll just make it an entertaining fight week. Anyway, Vettori would beat this guy. I've been saying it for months. This dude is going to get badly exposed when someone that can grapple comes into play, and maybe it might even be someone that can grapple. MVP's here. Shara Magomedov's definitely going to have the size advantage. So we'll see what happens on that one, yeah. Fuck it, man. I'm going to go with Michael Venom Page via decision. I can see a robbery, though. Like, if it goes to the judges' scorecards, I think MVP is going to have to make it obvious that there's no other option. But, yeah, we'll go with MVP on that one. Now we're fucking talking with Israel Adesanya back versus Nasruddin Imavov. Could be quite concerning if you are an Adesanya fan, given the time in his career, but Imavov is actually on serious form. You have a Roman Dolidze win, you have a Jared Cannonier win, and you have a Brandon Allen win. 3 good wins. You know, even the Jared Cannonier was one of the worst stoppages in UFC history. That's not even an exaggeration. He was doing well on the feet, and I actually rewatched that fight. Rewatched the Brandon Allen fight as well. One thing I noticed about Imavov is his gas tank isn't there. And Israel Adesanya, he did kind of gas out against Dricus a little bit. Okay, he didn't have that same zap on his punches. He's 2 losses in a row now. In his last 4 fights, he's only got 1 win. You know, it is quite concerning. And, you know, 2 years, 1 win. He has been fighting the best in the world, you know what I mean? Those wins have been against champions. The reigning champion. Unless, well, obviously Pereira, when he fought Pereira the first time, Izzy was champ, then he beat him again the second one. Strickland, Dricus, all in championship fights, sorry. But this dude has been in championship fights since February 2019. So he's gone 6 years nearly 6 years in just championship fights. Okay? Which is insane. Like, listen, there's so many... There might have fucking stupid cunts online saying he's overrated and shit like that. You know what I mean? Fucking idiots. He's beaten Marvin Vettori twice. He's beaten Anderson Silva. Okay, it wasn't at the end of his career, whatever. Beaten Kelvin Gastelum. Knocked out Prime Robert Whittaker. Beat Yoel Romero. Knocked out undefeated Paulo Costa. Beat Robert Whittaker again. Beat Jared Cannonier. Knocked out Alex Pereira. How the fuck are you saying he's not one of the greatest middleweights ever? They're fucking... The absolute shite some people talk is absolutely ridiculous. Okay? Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, I think Izzy's going to get this one done, okay? I actually thought he looked good against Dricus early and in moments, okay? Dricus is such an awkward style, man. I'm going to be ranting about 312, okay? I'm not going to break that card down because it is simply so shit and an insult to MMA fans. It really is. I'm not going to be breaking that down. I'm going to be ranting how fucking terrible that is. But, yeah, I like Izzy in this fight, okay? Imavov definitely has areas which I have concerns for, considering I'm an Adesanya fan. You know, people switch up real quick on Izzy, especially when he loses. But I feel like Imavov definitely gasses out, and I've seen him in that Brandon Allen fight. By the second round, he was fucking... His lungs are falling out his fucking ass. No, I know Brendan Allen got like a great takedown early on and was riding the round out there, and that's kind of why he gassed out a little bit. But even the second and third, there was a lot of striking exchanges, and maybe it was because Imavov had the early outcome of the takedown in that fight. But even in the Jared Cannonier fight, I saw him slowing down a little bit. He actually has very good zap on his punches, and I like his ability to keep a range. But if you're going to be in a range fight against Izzy, you're losing, bro. You're fucking losing. I don't really see many people being able to do that, especially not to the level of Imavov. Like, you lose to Sean Strickland on short notice, okay? Strickland beat him quite comfortably as well, if memory serves, and I don't really like that. You know what I mean? I don't really like that. Like, he was beating Chris Curtis as well, which, Chris Curtis is fucking so hit and miss, but you beat Joaquin Buckley in France. That's a good win. You lose to Philip Haas, though, which isn't exactly the best, fucking thing. Good win against Roman Dolidze. I like Imavov. Like, I think he's actually quite good. He's active, you know what I mean? He's entertaining on the feet. But, like, he doesn't bring the star value that Izzy brings to the sport. Like, love, hate, whatever. Most people hate Adesanya, but this is one you're going to be keeping your eye on, for sure. For sure, bro. And I like Izzy's ability in this fight to be able to keep Imavov at range. Okay? I think he looked good against Strickus. He definitely has kind of holes in his striking to where I think he leaves his chin a little bit exposed. And Imavov is a top striker in that division. I do think he's a top striker in that division to where he can capitalise on maybe if Izzy's going low, he might be able to slip back and then get in. Or sometimes when Adesanya's like backing up, he leave his hands down and like do this weird head movement. Imavov might be able to catch him there. If I'm Izzy, kind of like what he did against Pereira, if I'm backed up against that cage, he does good with the counters like a hook and stuff like that. But Imavov does well as well there. I actually think Imavov is going to attempt a takedown just to give Adesanya that kind of thing of, okay, I'm not going in here to strike with you. I'm going in here to have an MMA fight. Which I think is a decent strategy, you know what I mean? Like, even just have in the back of Izzy's head, okay, he's not afraid to shoot a takedown. Even if Izzy stuffs it straight away, which could be a confidence booster for Izzy and a de-confidence booster for Imavov, it's just to get him thinking. Because there was a lot of cage work happening in that Jared Cannonier fight. And we all know how I feel about cage control. Fucking hate it. Absolutely hate it. Fucking bullshit way of winning, to be quite honest with you. But if you have to win that way against an Adesanya to get your title shot, I'd still say don't do it, but he's going to. So, Izzy's quite good at getting off the cage. But I don't really think Izzy does much work up against the cage. Like, he doesn't hold people up against the cage and win fights that way. He's just going to pick you at range. It has been a while, apart from the Drickish fight where we got like a banger Izzy fight. Like, the Strickland fight was good, but I think the Strickland fight was good simply because everyone was like, he's going to absolutely smoke this dude. He got that great win against Pereira when he chinned him in Miami. But before that, man, like, his decisions were fucking boring. Vittori, even the Jan Blachowicz fight, it was a few years, probably cost us since we had a good fight, which was 2.5 years after that, which is insane to think. But it's a do or die for Izzy at this point. Like if Imavov goes in there, pieces him up, and then finishes him, well, what's next for Izzy? Do you know what I mean? You don't give him Hamzat. Do you give him Sharamed if he beats MVP? Maybe something like that, or like, are you going to be that guy that just is a gatekeeper to make a name when they get themselves into a top 5? I don't want to see that for Adesanya, considering like he's been at the top for so long. Like I said, I would think it was 6 years without fighting for a belt, with a title on the line since he fought Anderson Silva. Like, he's always been in the title picture, always, and he's been an active champion. You know what I mean? He rarely waited out. He took that leap of faith fighting Jan Blachowicz and moving up. He fell short, but that was a close ass fight. Jan Blachowicz definitely won though, but he was doing well in the first two, and kind of grappling came in. And apart from Jan Blachowicz, no one's really had insane success at holding Izzy down. Yes, Drickus did submit him, but he didn't hold him down and win rounds that way. Do you know what I mean? That was a good fight, to be fair. That was a good fight. Very kind of back and forth, and I thought Izzy was going to do it, but he didn't, unfortunately. And it's a weird kind of situation with middleweight without Adesanya in it, simply because he's been at the title picture all the time for fucking years. Okay, and maybe this is the passing of the torch, because I don't think these two are necessarily such different styles.
but they have similarities in their styles for sure. They're both going to go in there and strike. I do think Imavov is like a faster kind of movement kind of guy. Izzy's slow pace, peak out range, nice shots, good question mark kick. Going to throw a jab in there as well and hooks to the body and things like that. But Imavov is definitely more fast paced. Like when he's getting in there, he's moving quick and he's throwing combinations and definitely has the speed advantage in my opinion. But I don't think he has the cardio advantage. I don't think he's got the experience advantage. Anything like that. I believe Strickland was a main eventer, his last main event, and he fucking shit the fucking bed. He lost on short notice, you know what I mean? Which is never fucking good. But oh no, sorry, Jared Cannonier was the main event, yeah. Sorry, I'm after realising that. But I think the sport is just better with Adesanya at the top. Do you know what I mean? Like, he brings such a big name to the sport and the division, and if you haven't noticed, middleweight is fucking shit. Look at the title fight we have in a few weeks. Strickland versus Dricus 2, which absolutely nobody cares about. One of the worst cards in UFC history, and they're fighting in Australia. What the fuck do either of these two have to do with Australia? Absolutely fucking nothing. Okay, Volk versus Ilya is happening in March. Why the fuck couldn't they put that on this? I know Ilya fought, 3 months ago. God forbid he does a fucking thing a champion doesn't be active. God forbid, but you could have put JDM on this card. He's fighting Leon. Leon could have fought Ian Gary. Put JDM on this card versus Sean Brady. Like what? Dan Hooker's fighting Gaethje. Why isn't Dan Hooker on this card? It just makes no sense how shit 312 is. Okay? Absolutely no sense. I don't know. The middleweight's just fucking terrible. It was so much better when you had like Whitaker, Gastelum, Adesanya, Romero at the top of it. Like, it was so much better, and even Rockhold and Bisping, like, it was so much more entertaining. Like, no one gives a fuck about Dricus du Plessis and Sean Strickland. Like, if they both got cut from the sport tomorrow, I wouldn't give a fuck. That's how dead that fight is, bro. But yeah, enough about that. I'm going to go with Israel Adesanya via 4th round TKO. I think he's going to be able to get this one done. I think he's going to remind people he's not quite done yet. People are going to look at the fact that he lost to Dricus du Plessis and be like, oh, he got finished, got submitted, first time in his career, the real downturn. But if you look at that fight, you could argue Adesanya was winning, and he was doing really well in exchanges. And I feel like Dricus is such a different style to Imavov, to where I feel like Imavov is going to have a harder time having the moments Dricus had, considering he's much more Adesanya's style. He is quicker. I do think he's quicker. And I think when he throws the combinations, he's going to throw more hands than Adesanya. Adesanya might throw like a jab and then a low kick, but Imavov's going to come in there with 1-2 uni flu. He's going to be throwing a lot of hands, and Izzy's got to be careful, especially when he's backed up against that cage. I know he has good counters, but he's fucking got caught against the cage against Strickland trying to throw a hook. So that's that. That's kind of what I think about this fight. Fucking banger card, though. Looking forward to this. It's on early as well, which is mad. And yeah, it's going to have it could be a sad day. Because if Imavov goes in there, let's say Imavov schools Izzy for 2 rounds, catches him in the 3rd and finishes him. That's that. Israel Adesanya, the giant that we saw rule the division for so long is gone. And I know a lot of people online are saying, oh, he's overrated. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, you have to give him some credit. Whether you like him or not, you have to give him credit. Discrediting all his wins. They're saying, oh, Costa was shit, Vittori, this, Romero, you know what I mean? Just discrediting, like people do with Makachev. But that's what I think about this fight. Let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching.